Hey YouTube, this is Southern Prepper 1. I want to bring a video to you, and I'm going to entitle it, probably Don't Let Your Preps Get You Killed. I've been a little bit leery about doing this video because I don't want to discourage anyone from prepping. That's the exact opposite of what I've devoted myself to in the last few years, is sharing prepping, trying to get it more widespread and more mainstream. But I want to talk about people are prepping, and people are prepping at different levels for different events, from EMP to economic collapse, to natural disasters, you name it, people are prepping for. And that's fine. Whatever worries you, you prepare for. By preparing for one of these, usually you're going to prepare for all of them, in a sense. But don't let your preps get you killed. I see a lot of people putting solar panels on their houses. They live in subdivisions, which is great. The problem is, that's going to expose you in a worst case event. Not just a little thunderstorm that knocks out the power, but a worst case event. Everything that you're doing, and people can see walking down the road, walking in your subdivision, if they see you're prepping in a crisis, that potentially could get you killed. Ham radios, antennas, CB antennas, anything sticking out of your house people can see. People might be in a crisis situation. What are they going to want? They're going to want information. They're going to come to you. Yes, that's nothing wrong. There's probably not anything bad about them coming to you, but the more people come to you, the more you expose yourself to them. Potentially you're going to find someone that sees what you have, and they're going to want it. Gardens and orchards. You plant a big garden, a big orchard, people drive by every day, they see it. I see it every day driving to the two towns I drive to. I know who's homesteading, I know who's prepping. I can look at their place and I can instantly tell. A few of them I want to stop and talk to and just see how their setup is, and just share with them. There's so much more. EMP. People are preparing for EMP. I'm prepared for EMP to a degree. The panel behind me is going to be fried. The charge controller, all that's going to be fried. So what I've done is I've put back some spares in Faraday cages. I protected them as well as I can. Now granted, the only reason I want some power is to charge batteries, small batteries, and to keep my communication equipment running. That's all I can do. People want to protect all their equipment, which is fine. If you live in a remote area, do that. But the problem is, if you're the only one in a crisis situation and you did protect a lot of your equipment, and you start running your generator saying, oh, I'm going to keep my freezer going, that's going to get you killed. If everyone in your neighborhood does not have power and you have power, eventually someone, it might not be your actual neighbors, but it's going to be someone coming through the area that see what you have. They're going to take it. Also, the local authorities are going to take it. If they know you're generating power, they are going to send the sheriff and deputies. They're going to confiscate your equipment. The only way to stop them is to probably have a shootout with law enforcement. You're probably going to lose. Let's hypothetically say the community next door or a local family. I have some families in my area that have been here since before the Civil War. They are large families, a lot of cousins, nephews, nieces. They're huge. I would hate to make them upset with me. They're going to group together if they don't have what they want, and they're going to take it from people. I've had a couple of local people talk about the castle, the Doomsday Castle that's not far from here. They've made some comments saying, hey, they're just going to go there and they're going to take it. And I totally believe them. So I would hate to be that guy. That's the problem with me. I'm very out there. I'm exposed. So I'm building a community, I'm building neighbors, I'm building a team of people to lessen what I've done, the exposure I've done. Hopefully that will help. I also have a plan to bug out of here, leave everything. A lot of preppers, I talk to, I'm not leaving, I'm going to die here protecting what I have. Yeah, you are going to die protecting what you have. If you're exposed, if you're doing things that people can see, you have to increase your security plan. People are not increasing their security plan. I know people that have EMP-proof vehicles. They're not going to be able to drive on the roads. Having one is great, especially if you have to bug out or get back home or get to your bug out location or go pick up somebody. For a very, very short period of time, that vehicle will be worth its weight in gold. But the problem is, as soon as people realize what happened, you drive that vehicle down the road, you're going to be a target for majority of people. People are going to be desperate. Being overseas, I've seen that desperate. I've seen that glaze in people's eyes where they don't care anymore. They're willing to do whatever it takes to survive. We don't see that in this country. Study psychology. Humans are crazy things, and when things go wrong, their minds don't work. A normal person today that has morals and a conscience, let him go 3, 4, 5 days without food, and he's going to turn into an animal. So all this prepping we're doing, you got to have a security plan. People protect their chainsaws, so they'll run into EMP, and I have a protected chainsaw. I'm not going to run that chainsaw for a long, long time until things stabilize to the point where there is some type of security. Because if you fire that chainsaw up, no one else has anything, no one else has a way to keep warm, you're going to have unwanted attention on your front gate that will get you killed. So prep. But as you increase your preps, as you increase what you have, as you increase your footprint of prepping, you have to increase your security plan, please. Sometimes I think it's better for that person that does nothing outside, but stored a couple years for a couple $1,000s going to the Mormon cannery. You could put back a couple years supply of food. Yeah, it's not going to be the best. It might be rice and beans, but it's going to keep you alive. Having a means to cook that, a rocket stove, some wood, charcoal, whatever to put back, you might be better off than me or some other prepper that has this huge infrastructure, because you're not going to be the target. We've been studying EMP in our prepper community group, and we're actually going to have just a small exercise in the next day. People were given, most of them were given this piece of paper, and they were stapled shut, and they're not going to open it till 6:49. I didn't have enough because my printer died, so I'll be emailing right before 6:49. I'll be sending the emails out to the other people. And it's 2 pieces of paper. It's a little tiny exercise we're going to do. It's going to take us probably 15-20 minutes totally to do it on that night, and then the following night we meet as a group and we're going to discuss how'd you do. I gave them a lot of hints that it was probably going to involve radios and EMPs, so hopefully people are finalizing their plans. The purpose of this is to get that guy that hasn't finally bought his trash can, hasn't finally done his last little bit of EMP protection, to do it, and we'll find out. I'm going to read you this, but this is an exercise we're going to be doing. At 6:49, a nuclear EMP explodes high over the United States, knocking out the power grid, destroying all electronics that are not protected. Some limited emergency information will start to make it out if you have protective equipment, but it will take a day or 2. No emergency services at all. No help will come unless it's from friends or from our group. All vehicles are damaged except ones that are old and EMP safe. This is a worse situation that we could face other than a direct hit with a nuclear weapon on your location. Hopefully you have some of your electronics safe in the EMP-proof container. Make contact with your group. Contact blank blank or blank blank starting at this time. These 2 will act as net controllers to pass any information. If your radio is not in a Faraday cage, still do a radio check, and we will discuss this scenario at our next meeting. Simply tell them negative on the question if you do not have your equipment protected. In real life, you cannot talk or receive any information about the situation. If you have had your equipment protected, say positive on the question. Do not assume that another EMP could happen. They could send another one in a few hours to destroy anything that first one missed. If you have extra radios, keep them protected. How are you going to keep time? We have a regular scheduled time that people that don't have the ability to charge their batteries will, twice a day, make contact with our group. Your radio might be fine, but you don't know what time it is because your cell phone's out, so have a wind-up clock. Here's an additional problem that everyone must think about. There's 3 questions here. You could ask for help from others if you could communicate with others. Do not say or ask for any help on the questions over the radio. We will discuss them in person. Okay, there's 3 questions here. Your elderly close relative is visiting and they have had a heart attack from the stress. What are you going to do? Do you know CPR? What could you do after they regain their normal heartbeat and breathing? Do you know the simple things you could do for that heart attack victim? Next question. 4 hours after the EMP goes off, a group of thugs start kicking in the neighbor's back door and start to loot. What should you do and what can you do? Another question. Your wife or girlfriend is at Walmart and just left Walmart 5 minutes before the EMP hit. Her car is new and you know will not be running. Is her car equipped with some basic gear? How about a firearm? Are they trained and know how to use it? Are you going to walk and look for her, or is she on her own? These are some questions. These are hard questions. So this is what we're going to be doing, all related to EMP. A lot of people think that an EMP is going to go off and they're going to get all their equipment out of their protective Faraday cage and they'll have extras. The problem is people assume there's going to be one. There could be multiple ones. They could have an EMP hit. 12 hours later they could hit us again. 24 hours, 36 hours. Militarily, they're going to shoot one, shoot another one. They're going to limit our ability to use anything that we've protected. So, you know, people put thousands of dollars into protecting their equipment. I know guys that have complete an extra solar system, not just one panel, but 10, 11, 12 panels, totally protected. And they say, well, when the first EMP goes off, my system will be fried, but my other backup will be fine, so I'm going to get it out and set it up. The problem is, you setting that up, there could be another EMP the next day or in a month. So EMP, my book, I'm going to go very primitive. That's the only way to survive. In a true EMP, they estimate 9 out of 10 people will die inside the United States. In that case, I will probably have to turn nomadic, using the caches I have in the mountains, using the supplies I put back there, and I will take my family and friends and we will be very nomadic. We will sort of be like the Indians. The Indians moved to look for food, water, and to stay away from trouble. And in a true EMP, you better be able to do that. If not, you will probably be one of those 9 out of 10 that will perish. I'm not here to scare you, but I want you to know, if you keep prepping, keep raising your prepping scale, ability to take care of your family, you better increase your security plan, and you better have a backup plan, because you will become a target for your supplies. Thanks for watching.